My name's Georgie Grosser, I'm 29 and I'm a winemaker in the making. My work as a winemaker would be in the winery, processing the fruit, actually making the wine, doing all the chemical processes involved, blending that wine, preparing it for bottling. On a daily basis I can sell the wine, which is a great part of the job because that's the finished product. Obviously as a winemaker you need to know what people's tastes are and where your market lies, and that dictates what type of wine you'll make. On another day I might come in and work in the lab. I'm involved with all analysis of the wine at different stages, whether it's halfway through a ferment, a finished wine, a bottled wine, a wine somewhere in between being picked and put to bottle. Everything is chemically analysed. We have 2 quite large bottling lines and we do a lot of contract bottling for people in the area, and part of the lab work is checking those wines for bacteria and yeast. So I use fluorescence microscopy, which is quite important, looking at any bugs that are in the wine. It's all very scientific. Obviously there's a lot more involved than science. You can't make wine just on paper and figures, but it's very important in terms of quality control and managing a wine and knowing what's actually happening to it at each stage. In the winery, well, that's an endless array of jobs. I could be emptying barrels, I could be filling barrels, I could be getting samples from them, I could be adding anything to a tank from acids through to yeast inoculation at particular times of the year. Chilling tanks down, unload trucks, I can transfer wine from tank to tank. It's a very unpredictable industry. If there's something wrong with a wine that you're not used to, it can put your whole day out. The wine industry doesn't work 9 to 5. Particularly over the vintage season. It's long hours. The winery operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Before I was in the wine industry, I worked in the tourism industry for a little over 10 years. And then when I travelled, drinking wine came into it, and an appreciation for wine grew from that. And all of a sudden I thought, well, wine, why can't I have a career in something like that? I'm studying an applied science degree in wine science. It's run through Charles Sturt Uni at Wagga. I do a distance education, so I work full-time and study part-time, but I really enjoy the aspect of learning while I'm working. If I had any advice for someone looking at getting into this industry, I would say persistence. It's very difficult to get into the wine industry if you have no experience. I had applied for the university degree the first time and was knocked back. It's quite difficult to get into that course. You need to have a lot of references from people in the wine industry, proof of access to wineries and vineyards for practical work. So I did miss out the first time, but I started to do the subjects on my own, and I'd organised work in wineries, and the year after when I reapplied, then they thought, okay, well, she's serious about getting into this. Winemaking is a job for life. It doesn't have to be winemaking itself. It can be in the lab as a lab technician, which is a highly important part of winemaking. Or it can be in wine growing if you want to head that way. There's thousands of different options and in all areas of the world, so it definitely is a job for life. There are a lot of openings around the world, particularly for Australian winemakers. They're held in high regard. They're trained very well. We have staff from my particular company that I work for travelling at the moment in the States to do a vintage over there. I'm hoping myself to do one in France or possibly South America. Ideally, I'd love to have a nice small winery, creating my own wonderful blends. That's what I would love to do. Winery work is dirty, it's messy, it's heavy, it's quite manual labour, but the final product is so worth it. And yeah, I love it. A glass of wine after work. It's such a de-stressor. My favourite wine is a full-bodied red, an Australian full-bodied red. I don't think you can beat. I work with wonderful people, I work with beautiful wine and in beautiful areas, but I really love what I do.